VikesNow. I am Dustin Baker. We are here on our now traditional Saturday night show that a lot of you will watch on Sunday. We are here with Tom Sullivan from Vikings Twitter, my homie. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad. It's dawned on me that I've known you for at least about 5 years now, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Yep. You know my kid and everything. Brevin, how are you?
Pretty good. Saturday night. Doesn't get better than this.
Let's do it. All right.
On
So
the
we
eve of Snowmageddon.
Yeah.
What are you guys? In where I'm at in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, it's like in that 4 to 8 inches range. Are you still in the upper tier?
Yeah, we're looking like 19 here. It's looking like it's
I
gonna
live
be a bit.
nowhere near you guys, so it's like 50 degrees here. And
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Tom's gonna get some of that like Buffalo Bills type of snow that we see once per year.
Mhm.
All right, let's
I'm
jump
still
into
gonna
this.
play football through it.
Yeah, you gotta. All right,
Of
Brevin,
course.
I'm gonna hand it to you first. What do you got for Tom Sullivan? Let's pick his brain about the Vikings offseason.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of talk about who's going to be rookie quarterback. Is it going to be May? Is it going to be McCarthy? Penix? Hopefully not. But I wanted to throw kind of a curveball. Like, what if Sam Darnold is starting the entire season in 2024? What do you think a realistic outlook for the Vikings as a team in terms of like success would be with Sam Darnold playing a full 17 games?
Well, I'll start by saying I think we're gonna end up, if he started all of the games, we'd be in everyone's favorite position. It'd be 8-9 or 9-8.
Yep.
Back in purgatory. Just because everyone around him is so good still. We got two great wide receivers, I think, bookend tackles. We've got Aaron Jones in the backfield. Man, if our offense, I think, is as good skill position wise and line wise as any team since 09, probably. And it's just the quarterback. I've seen some great throws from Sam Darnold in some absolutely awful games.
Yep.
I can expect more of that.
So were
Yep.
you in the camp that was relatively excited when you saw the Darnold news on that Tuesday morning?
No, I wanted
No?
Mullins.
Yeah, I wanted if we were going to do any sort of bridge, I wanted Drew Lock just for the lovable factor. But I too didn't want a bridge, and if they were going to do that, they might as well do Mullins because I think he got a bad rap. But they actually, Nick Mullins, if you think about it, was one of the big losers of free agency on the Vikings roster. If you want to dissect it that deeply. But based on your forecast though, if we do, like, let's say it's JJ McCarthy, and since he's only 21, he's not ready at all, and they don't want to indoctrinate him too early. You honest to goodness think it's going to be one of those 8-9 seasons, 9-8, and then probably miss the postseason?
Yeah, I think the NFC North's improved enough where even with all that talent, an improving defense, hopefully, we still lack a little bit of that top end talent. And if we can't hit one of these top quarterbacks, I would love to go defense. But I know everybody's all in. I'm doing a draft like giveaway, and everybody's all in on the quarterbacks. Everyone wants to trade up. Yeah, so I suspect more mediocrity.
Well, the segue to my next question, it would be weird to have a Vikings podcast in general, an episode of it, or a new guest like yourself on VikesNow without asking about your preference. It seems like we have, not evenly, but we have divided into May or McCarthy. We've kind of all forgot about Jaden Daniels because we think he's going to Commanders.
Yep.
And anything like Penix or Bo Nix would be a consolation. So I want to ask you, do you have a quarterback preference? It can be anybody, and explain why you want that guy.
I like May.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings like May. I like May. Every time I watch him, I feel like all the big plays are like deep crossing routes and deep overs and just things that we run so often. And I know with our QB coach and they've just watched so much of his tape that they want May. And I'm just supporting them. So May is my go-to, but honestly, either way, if we trade up, I want one of the two. I think, as you said, the Commanders are going to take a quarterback, and obviously the Bears are going to take a quarterback. So we're on to the third or fourth guy.
Do you believe, if it is indeed May, I think everybody but Thor Nystrom, who comes on this show, has May as their first guy. I believe May would be his second if Daniels isn't available. Do you believe Drake May would start week 1, or would that be wait until we're 2-4 or some shit?
Yeah, probably 2-4. I don't think they're gonna start him right away. I know with the footwork and everything, he needs to improve, but our fan base gets sick of quarterbacks pretty quickly, and I think we're gonna be calling for him sooner rather than later, especially if Darnold struggles, as I suspect he might.
And then if we are chilling on draft night, which is about 4.5 weeks away, and we see Drake May, New England Patriots, and then, hey, the Vikings have traded up with the Arizona Cardinals, or the Vikings have traded up Los Angeles Chargers, and they have selected J.J. McCarthy, will you be like, hell yes, baby, or will you still be a little disappointed that it wasn't May?
I'm going to be all in.
Yeah?
For sure. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's the best quarterback that there was. It's not even a question. The Bears already messed up. The Commanders messed up. The Patriots, of course, they can't. Quarterbacks? Patriots? Please. Not if they're not in the 6th round.
I told the VikesNow Slack channel off air, it dawned on me, I think it was yesterday, that we're going to be in an awkward spot in about 6 months where no matter what, we're going to hope that either May or McCarthy does not awesome, because we've spent so much time thinking about either one as the Vikings quarterback that if they end up with McCarthy, we're going to be like, well, hopefully May isn't too good, because that was the guy that a lot of us wanted, or vice versa.
Yep.
All right, Brevin, take it away. What's your next question for Tom Sullivan?
Yeah, and looking at, so even if it is Sam Darnold, or even if it is May, any of the quarterbacks we just talked about, I don't think it would be crazy to say there's going to be a drop in production and with Justin Jefferson. How much of a drop do you think there would be? Because I don't think Kirk Cousins obviously is a stats guy, volume merchant. So I don't think we're going to see a 1,900-yard, 1,800-yard season out of JJ for at least until a rookie quarterback develops. So how much of a production drop do you think we should expect from JJ, maybe to just get our expectations for his numbers this year right?
If Mullins starts, JJ 2K is back on the table.
Yeah.
But if Mullins does not start and it's somebody else, I'm thinking we're going to go like 12, 1,300. It's still going to be a great season. But I just don't see the accuracy that Kirk will throw out there, or the volume that a Mullins might force upon Jefferson. So I could see him dropping a little bit, but I think the touchdown numbers should actually go up. I think with another threat on the other side and with our tight ends, Jefferson's got to get it going in the red zone a little bit better.
Yeah, and if you look at JJ in games without Kirk, like with Mullins last year, he had 2 games over 140 yards. His best game of the season actually was the last week of the season against Detroit, who maybe they weren't playing for anything, I don't think, that week. He put up 12 for 192 and a touchdown. So I think if you got somebody like Mullins there throwing to him, who, like, the offense was putting up 400-something yards a game with Mullins. So, like, they can move the ball with him. That I was in the camp of have Mullins be the bridge. You don't need to bring in Darnold. Again, I'm not, like, the Sam Darnold is, like, just the biggest blank face, like, okay. Like, that's the biggest blank face maneuver that I've ever seen the Vikings make. Like, I'm not going to get mad at it. I'm not going to be excited about it. But I was in the camp, too, with you guys that, like, I think Mullins should be that bridge, especially if you're looking at JJ's numbers. But I think it begs another very relevant question to the situation right now, and that we're in what I would assume is pretty tense contract negotiations with Justin Jefferson, the best non-quarterback on the planet that plays this beautiful sport that we love so much and hurts us a lot. Do you think this potential drop in production, do you think maybe that is an argument for the Vikings, and that maybe they don't want to pay $35 million to somebody who, at best, if Darnold is your quarterback, if a rookie quarterback is your quarterback, do you want to pay $35 million a year for somebody that's going to, at best, get wide receiver 8 production if he's getting 1,200, 1,300 yards tops?
People will hate you if you say no. I think we have to pay Jefferson. We can't let another wide receiver leave us. Moss leaving was one of the hardest moments of my life, and Jefferson. I mean, we already lost Kirk. I don't know if I could take it. What about you, Dustin?
Yeah, I'm firmly pay Jefferson. I absolutely believe there is a way to win a Super Bowl with him, and if you start getting yourself in your bag about, well, maybe we don't need an expensive wide receiver, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You don't just give away outstanding human beings who also happen to be wonderful football players.
Yeah.
And the salary cap's going to keep going up. So within 2 years, his deal is going to feel in the middle of the pack. And so I keep saying that, to me, Jefferson is a Steph Curry of the NBA in terms of what he brings for new fans. And I care about that. I care about kids getting into the Vikings. To me, as you get to be older like me, you start to reflect on those things. And you think, that's kind of cool. So I am absolutely on board with paying him. And I think it's going to be a monster contract. I want to go back to a couple things that we said in the last little piece, that even though none of us are overly enthused about Sam Darnold and would rather just have Drake May start right away, I absolutely believe, and somebody said this on Twitter, I can't remember if it was a national person, I absolutely believe that Darnold is the break in case of emergency plan, in that the draft board just goes haywire and Kwesi gets handcuffed and can't really do anything besides Bo Nix or Spencer Rattler. I think then what will we do as Vikings fans? We would call them absolutely incompetent for not having a backup plan. And that's why I think Darnold was so expensive at $8.5, $10 million, whatever his up to contract is. And then on the stat you quoted about Jefferson against the Lions, that was the game where the announcer said at halftime, or approaching halftime, the Lions put the clamps on him when he had like 80 yards. And we were like, oh boy, yeah, really slowed him down. And then my habitual Nick Mullins story that I like to tell is whenever the Vikings got in third and a mile with Nick Mullins under center, it was like, meh, who cares? We're going to get it. And I never felt that one time with Kirk Cousins. When it was 3rd and 12, I'd be like, oh, you can put a fork in it. This thing's going to be a punt. But with Nick Mullins, for better or for worse, when they got in 2nd and 28 or 3rd and 27, I'd be like, oh boy, now he's in his element. So let's do the thing. He could rear back and throw it. I'm a Nick Mullins guy. I hope that wherever he ends up, if he doesn't play a lot for these Vikings, I hope he eventually gets a shot to get a good defense like Joe Flacco had in December and January. All right, let's see. My next thing is, so I have your what you want about quarterback, Tom, and that is Drake May. You're in very safe company here with that. What about prediction-wise? Who do the Vikings do trade business with? How much will that cost? And who do they draft on April 25th?
Well, I'd love if we could get up to the top 3, but I'm thinking the first 4 might be set in stone, because I can't imagine Arizona's going to pass on Marvin Harrison Jr. He just seems like that safe of a prospect, incredible wide receiver. I wouldn't hate him in Minnesota if we traded up, just went crazy with it. Marvin Harrison Jr., Justin Jefferson, let's go. Addison. I think we'd probably try to go 5 or 6 then and get the 4th quarterback off the board. And to trade up, it's going to be, even at 5 or 6, it's got to be 2 first-round picks still, and probably something thrown in. But if we were to move up to 2 or 3, I'm thinking all 3 first-round picks easy. When was the last trade like that? I think it was the 49ers, and they gave up quite a bit.
Yeah, the Niners gave up 4 first-round picks to go get Trey Lance, jumping from 12
I'd
to
do
4.
it. I wouldn't like it, but I'd do it. I always thought draft picks were a little bit overrated anyway, so let's get a guy if we're sure that it's going to make a difference.
I think the only caveat with the 49ers trade, and Yannick Eckhart pointed this out to me about a month ago, is that everybody kind of knew their draft picks would be low in the first round, and I think that's why they got away with, or the Dolphins got away with, asking that much. So are you, in terms of a prediction, are you locking in McCarthy because you settled at 5 or 6?
Yeah.
I think that per sports books, and I think we're treading that way because it feels too good to be true that this guy has wanted Drake May since January 8th, and then all of a sudden we can actually get him. We're too cynical. We think it's going to be the other guy. On Arizona this week, Monty Ossenfort, their general manager, I believe on Thursday, point blank said that we are open for business. He said that the billboard is flashing. We always listen to trade offers. And that leads me to believe the Vikings have a fail-safe that if they don't get into the top 3, which will be tricky, I do believe the Cardinals will do business. I think he put that out there for a reason. But here's the deal. I think that whatever trade you're going to give to the Patriots, you're going to have to give to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So I think when he said that, we're always going to look to team build, we'll listen to every single offer. I don't think he meant like, just give us 2 firsts and we'll be happy to do that. I think that if the Vikings get screwed and the Patriots hang up the phone, whatever deal was on the table there, 3 first-rounders and deal sweetener, you're going to have to give that son of a bitch to the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure that was the code. Well, in my estimation, that was the code he was talking in. I think we have got tempted into believing, hey, if they can't get into the top 3, we'll send the 2 firsts to Harbaugh and we'll be fine. I don't know, because they're going to have them by the balls, and they're going to say, well, hey, you didn't get any of them yet. So I would. Anybody that thinks it's going to be as simple as 2 first-rounders, that would be great, because I swear to God, McCarthy will feel free if it's only 2 first-rounders, because we thought about, the Godfather trade this long. Anything less than that will feel like gravy. But I will reiterate that if they can't get into the top 3, you have a very willing trade partner in the Cardinals, unless Austin Fort was flat out lying on Thursday. Brevin, what else you got?
Yeah, I think we've asked everybody just about this who's come on a Saturday night the last couple weeks, and this time I'm asking because my opinion on it's altered a little bit, and that's what you think the worst case scenario would be for the Vikings. And after thinking about it some more, like the worst case scenario on the first night of the draft in the first round, I don't think like pick for pick, me personally, is how I would look at the worst case scenario. I think the worst case scenario for the Vikings night 1 is, oh shit, we can't trade up for a quarterback. Let's reach on a quarterback at 23. Or God forbid they do that at 11. So I don't want them to take a quarterback because, oh shit. So that would be my worst case scenario. What would your worst case scenario be for night 1 you take to Twitter to really air out your frustrations about Kwesi Adefo-Mensah?
Well, the first draft that he ran, I was pretty stressed out about that trade with the Lions. So if we try to trade way back and we don't get a first rounder, I would be pissed. That would suck. As for if we went offense some way and reached for a quarterback or like some other offensive player, if we can't get a quarterback, I want to go defensive tackle more than anything.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, no.
I'm back.
Oh,
there we go.
We did it.
I got so mad. I was like, we can't get a quarterback? I forgot that I was in a... Can't be yelling.
It's all good. Mine would be... I wouldn't be mad with Michael Penix in general because I really do like the way he throws. And it'll certainly feel like, a 4th place trophy or 5th place trophy.
It all comes down to injuries with him, though.
Yeah, I'll be paranoid about that for his whole career. Not just like, hey, do we get out of his rookie year clean? No, I'll be worried about that because it's on tape and it's on his resume. My worst case scenario is anywhere Bo Nix in the first round, especially at 11. And that's mainly because with any other of the big 6, I'm going to find a way to say, on May 10th, I'm going to be like, sweet, Michael Penix, he's going to be set up just fine. I'm going to be a dickhead for thinking he's going to get hurt. With Bo Nix, that's the only one I will question. What were we thinking? Why did you even bother trading with the Texans if that was your plan? So he's the guy that I absolutely don't want because I go back to this twisted theory that of these 6 quarterbacks, half of them aren't going to be any good. And I can guarantee you that one of them is going to be Bo Nix because it's not going to be Drake May. Caleb Williams, it might be because of the team he's on. But I think we're going to have a rarity where 3 of these quarterbacks are good. And then, usually it's less than 50% of first rounders that live up to the hype. Now you might have a guy who's starts for 7 seasons or whatever, like Carson Wentz. But does anybody really think that was a sweet ass draft pick in hindsight? No. So my worst case scenario is they find out that there's not a pathway to get any of the big 4. And then it's Bo Nix. Any way they get Michael Penix, even if they reached at 11, I'd still gulp and be like, oh, God. But I'd still find a way to be excited about what he can be in this offense. All right, the last thing I got for you, Tom, is we're going to pivot back to Kirk one final time. How good do the Falcons do this year and beyond with Kirk Cousins in the saddle?
They lose the NFC Championship game to us, I believe.
This year, huh?
Yeah. This is the year.
Darnold versus Cousins.
Kirk's going to have a terrible game. All the people that have hated him the whole time will feel so inspired by it. And we'll go to the Super Bowl, so life will be good. No, I think they're probably favorites to win in the NFC South. I think Kirk's going to have a good year. I do think he made a mistake, like career trajectory wise. Just because if he stayed with Minnesota, we have so much talent. I think he could have put up MVP numbers, which would have done huge for his like resume going off finishing. But with the 4 years, I think he made the right decision there, and there was no way we were going to ever offer that. So I hope he does well. I hope he doesn't do too well. I'd rather, our rookie quarterback show him up a little bit.
So what do you got them about 10-7 this year or something?
That's exactly what I was going to say. How'd you know?
Okay. It feels like a Cousins Falcons record. I think he's going to have a lot of fun down there with the weaponry. We shall see. All right, Brevin, do you have any closing arguments for the entire viewership?
Just speaking on the last topic, I know one thing for damn sure, and that's on a week 9 noon game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whoever the Falcons are playing, I'm sure Kirk Cousins will throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know what will happen in January, but damn it, will he put up some good numbers in the middle of the season.
Tom, any closing arguments for you, sir?
No, he's going to definitely put up 3 touchdowns and 300 in that game.
All right, my man. Will you come back on a Saturday night like in May so we can start to kind of maybe at that point the schedule will probably be out. We can hash out some of the upcoming training camp stuff. Would you be down for that?
Even if the schedule's not out, you'll probably have it.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really good at is getting that a couple days in advance. All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fun. Thank you for having me.
Likewise. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. And then, Brevin, next Saturday, who was it we got on the docket?
Alex, oh man, I'm so sorry, Alex.
Micheletti.
We're actually really friendly. Micheletti, I think.
Oh man, nice guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. All right,
we'll talk. I feel bad for potentially pronouncing his name wrong.
Oh no, it's all good. We'll talk to him. Yeah, next Saturday, and you guys have a wonderful evening. All right.
You too.
All right, later.